Hi everyone, this is Ashwini. Welcome to CKA Cert Hands-On channel. The purpose of my channel is to get people who want to give CKA 2025 exam get started on their hands-on practicing journey once they finish the formal course of CKA and have a basic understanding of Kubernetes concepts. This creates the depth in your understanding of each concept and helps you crack CKA exam. The current playlist consists of Helm basics and concepts to solve Helm related questions in CKA exam. There is not much content on Helm, so I'm putting together these videos to get an understanding of Helm concepts. I have a playlist for each category of CK exam. Please to check out my playlist for networking, storage, and troubleshooting categories that carry like that specific percentage in CK exam. And the links for the playlist are provided in every video. With that introduction, let's get started with today's video. This is the 7th video in Helm series. This scenario, we're deploying a mock application using Helm in the dev namespace. So we'll just try to slowly understand what exactly where it means by Helm automatic rollout deployments. So there is a mock app application devns, and I think we have been seeing this in the last videos. This is how we get all the resources, and we see all the deployed as a pod service. It's a deployment, and deployment creates the pods, and of course replica set, and the pods are exposed with the service. This is the cluster IP service with an IP and do that port. So let's try to do so it says hello KillerCoda folks, you received this message, you'll override this message. Okay, verify the content of the deployed container. We got it. Verify the content of the deployed config map. So I'm just gonna get config map because wait, I don't know the name of the config map and it's not there in the resources in the dev namespace, and this is the name, so I can just describe it. And you can see that there's a message, and then you will override this message. That is the data. Got it. Now verify the content of the config map template. So we go to charts. Okay. So generally it's there, so I'm just checking there. If you go to templates, there's a config map template, and you can see that it's got values, app, and then the message, and the values will go to the values and check what is the message here. It is, you will override this message. Now in this step, you will replace the existing message value, upgrade the release to use the message. You are overriding the message. Does the pod take this change in consideration instead of the previous one? Okay, so we'll have to override this, and we can do that as by doing an upgrade of the application and by overriding that message. So we will specify the namespace, and also what else, we have to give -- install, because if there is no release, then it will install a release. And the directory of the chart, so you select the whole mockup directory, and then this is, you do a -- and the key that you want to override is message, and what you want to override is this message that is given to us. It's not control, so it's not K, it's Helm. Okay, Control I. So I have to give the release name as well. I think it's mocap. So now it's deployed. Verify the content of the deployed config map. Okay, get config map. So we are seeing if it has updated. I'll just describe it. You're overriding the message. Does the pod take this change in consideration? Verify the content of the deployed container. Okay. So we are just doing a curl on the service IP and port, and you can see that it is still pointing to the old message. So when a Helm chart is upgraded and the config map it relies on is updated, the pod's environment variables set during pod creation remain unchanged. This means the pod does not automatically recognize the new config map data. To apply the changes, a manual pod restart or redeployment is required. So we're going to do a manual rollout restart now. So how we do is do a rollout, and I don't know the command for it, so I can do just k rollout, and then there is a restart, and you restart a resource, which is the deployment. You can see that there is actually an example, and I am just going to give the name of the deployment, see if that works. I have to give the namespace as well. Okay, now we'll try to get the. So now you can see that earlier it was you will override this message. Now it is you're overriding the message. Does the pod take this change in consideration? So the container also got updated, not just config map. Now obviously we have done this manually, and if there is a frequent change to the configuration of config map or the secrets, we do not want to be doing this manual, and we want the application to be reflecting the updated changes automatically without manual intervention. How do we do that? Is using automatic rollout. Let's try to understand that. I'll just read out. Based on the previous step, it's evident that we require a mechanism to automatically trigger the rollout of a deployment whenever a config map or a secret is updated. Annotations like checksum config in Helm charts are used to trigger rolling updates of Kubernetes deployments when the config map or secret referenced by the deployment changes. It is a brief explanation. So we do it using checksum annotation. When Helm installs or updates a charge, it calculates a checksum for the config map or secret used in the deployment. This checksum is stored as an annotation in the deployment resource. When a change is made to the config map or secret, Helm updates the resource and changes the checksum. Kubernetes detects this change and triggers a rolling update of the deployment to ensure that pods are updated with the new configuration. By leveraging these annotations, Helm ensures that changes to the configuration data are automatically propagated to the relevant resources in the cluster, maintaining consistency and reliability of the application. Now, how do we do that? We have to update the Helm deployment template, not config map template, but the deployment template. So you can see that in the template there is a section called annotation, and there's a checksum config, and it includes the basically config.yaml, the whole path, and then just that it's just calculating the checksum of it, and it's just printing it. So let's do it. think we can do this. We can see it in the Helm documentation also. You can see that oftentimes config maps or secrets are injected as configuration files. Basically, it says the same thing where you have to specify the path of the data file, config data file, and then the checksum, and calculate the checksum. And there is one more section which is could be of interest to people as well. So if you want to roll off your deployment and you roll always, if you want to always roll your deployment, for example, then you just have to use this, and you keep changing it all the time so that it always changes and causes the deployment to roll. So yeah, let's do the current one. So we made the changes. Now how do we test this, whether it is working on it? So what we'll do is we'll do another Helm upgrade, and this time we'll again replace the message with a different one. And now we'll get the config map. So this has a new message, which was the case previously also, but what we want to say is an automatic update to the pod and the container as well. So yeah, now the container also reflects it. That is how you do an automatic rollout deployment using checksum annotations. Now, if you think my videos are helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I will be providing the KillerCoda scenario and also the documentation links in my video, every video of mine, and there will be links to the other playlists as well. I will see you in the next video about I think the next video is about canary deployments, how to do it with Helm, and I'll see you then. Until then, happy learning. Bye.